Well, when we went at halftime, I could sense that a lot of the stars for Penn State had played most of the half. I think they left Nairn in for the whole first 45. And with a game on Friday, for her to play the whole first 45, it's going to be tough for her to have the same amount of juice in the second 45. So the decision we had to make was to try to stick with the plan of rotating players in and out. We also decided to stay with the 4-2-3-1 in the second half. And actually our plan at the half, and this didn't work out, our plan at the half was to win the game in the second overtime period. So our strategy, just didn't seem to work out for us. But the idea was what I wanted to plant in the heads of my players is this was going to be an ordeal, and we were going to try to win the game by playing our depth. I think there were a couple of factors that helped us. One was we were deeper, we were playing more players. And the other thing is what I mentioned earlier. A lot of the kids that were coming off the bench for us as reserve players were starting for us most of the year because we were missing our stars. And so when we took a kid that was a starter in August and September and half of October and put her back on the field as a reserve player, the other team is thinking they're going to get a bit of a break, and you know what, they didn't, because I thought the reserves played exceptionally well for us. This is my dream. My dream for my collegiate team is to try to play 19 players a game. I talk about that in the preseason, and then I tell them how they can play. If you will defend for me, you will play. There's nothing complex about the demand, and all you have to defend for me is 5 minutes. If you can defend for me for 5 minutes, you're going to play. Now, defending for me is you have to head, you have to tackle, you can't go around whacking everyone, and when you win it, you've got to keep it. So there's some demands beyond just defending. But if you will do that and work hard when you're out there, we're going to play it. And very rarely do we play 19. We've played 19. I think I had one team that was that deep. But honestly, next to that team, this might be the deepest roster I've ever had as a collegiate coach. And we played this roster deeper than any other year than that one year. And I think a part of it was, again, getting back to what I was saying earlier, these kids were veterans from the demands made on them because of the injuries, the two starters in the back we lost, the personalities we lost that were playing for their countries. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, that benefited us against Penn State today. Oh, I know what you're driving at. I was the chairman of the Rules Committee. Back when I was the chairman of the Rules Committee, I was also the U.S. Women's National Coach. And what I tried to do is to force feed my population, the college coaches, to go to FIFA rules, under this misguided impression that if we trained all of our collegiate players with FIFA rules, we would be better prepared to compete internationally. I was fought mostly by the Division III and II leadership. And if you look at the makeup of the Rules Committee, it's not just a collection of Division I coaches. There are Division III people there, there are Division II people there, and they're not all coaches. There's a mix, and it's some sort of formula. There's a percentage of them that are athletic directors. And there was a guy I really respected that was a Division III athletic director. And he kept objecting to what I was trying to do. And honestly, this wonderful man convinced me that my obligation for a collegiate athlete was more than just helping my country win internationally. But keep in mind, I'm wearing this national team hat. So my agenda going into the Rules Committee was that. And what this guy did, this very wise man did, is he convinced me that at a collegiate level, I've got a different obligation. And that obligation is to basically soccer educate, but also educate for life, as many athletes as I could. And a part of their experience collegiately was the chance for them to play. And you know what, I'm very pleased this very wise man, and I was, a young and brash national team coach, basically convinced me of that, and now I am totally convinced of that. We have a different mission in college, and our mission is to give these kids an incredible experience athletically, while we're educating them, not just academically, but also in every conceivable way. And so I genuinely want to play a deep roster, not out of service to the game, but out of service to a collection of young women that came to my university, partially to play on a soccer team, but also to get on the field. And that's where I live now.
I don't think anything really changed. I just think that I was given a couple really good opportunities in these last 2 games, and I think that this team is really unique because we have so many girls that can score, and you saw that today. We had 4 different players scoring, and early in the tournament, same thing, and Crystal, too, has carried us so much throughout this tournament, and so I think just at the end, I just got a couple opportunities, and I'm just really, really thankful that I was able to finish. Yeah, scoring, Anson always says scoring is the hardest thing to do on the field, and so I think both goals were really close, but, I mean, they went in, so. For me, I was not thinking about going to UNC, and I made a trip out kind of last minute, and as soon as I met Anson and was basically on campus, I knew I wanted to go there, and I committed on my visit. So I think this coach right here has, I mean, his record speaks for itself, and just personally, like, he truly cares about his players, and we truly care about him. I'm going to cry. And I'm just so thankful to be able to have played for him.
Yeah, same thing as Kalia. I actually wasn't thinking about coming to UNC, and then I got that phone call, and I was like, well, let's see what it's about. And I went, and I was mind blown, not only just with the soccer program, but with the school itself. And of course, Anson Dorrance, being Anson Dorrance, my God, he's amazing on and off the field, and he's like the father figure for all of us. And like Kalia said, he cares about us so deeply. And right there and then, not only with the statistics that he gave me about how the program and who's been through, like Mia Hamm and Cindy Parlow and all these greats, but he was just genuine. And just right there and then on my unofficial visit, I knew I wanted to come there just because of him and how he speaks and how he just persuaded me. And it wasn't like anything sly. It was, he knew exactly what he wanted, and, you know, he didn't really, you know, BS around the bush. He just, you know, said right there, and he's an amazing individual. And I think I am the person I am today because of him. He leads me on and off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I would end up at UNC. I mean, I heard of the school, obviously, and, you know, all the greats that had come through. I thought, honestly, I don't think I was good enough to go there. And then when I got a call from Anson, I was like, oh, hello, hi. So, yeah, I mean, and like those 2 girls have been saying, I mean, he really does care about the players, and you can't really ask for more than that from a coach. He's always like, you know, we can get better. That wasn't a bad game. I know we lost, but we can always get better. And I think coming from a coach, that's kind of, yeah, it throws you off because you're like, you know, we just lost. Like, be mad, yell at us. But, I mean, there's never a moment where Anson actually gets on us for losing. I mean, if we played well, then that's all we can ask for. And I think any college coach that does that is well respected.
And, sorry, one more thing going on that. Anson always takes responsibility. So if we lose, he puts it on himself, and that's more than you can ask any coach. So.